Hi guys, today we'll be heading east from San Diego to see an abandoned railroad with the world's tallest wooden trestle. After taking the I-8, we arrived in a small town of Boulevard and checked into the only motel we can find available in the area called Backcountry Inn.
Smells really nice in here.
As soon as we got there, we noticed a strange three-legged dog guarding the place. The owner told us it's lost its leg in a fight with a biker, which definitely added a bit of mystery to our stay. It is located really close to the border, and the railroad leading to the trestle passes right there too, so we stopped by there to check out the rails and came across some migrant shelters while there. Another place worth visiting in the area is the Desert View Tower. Unfortunately, it was closed when we got there, but the surrounding area has some really cool painted caves. Even without getting inside the tower, we enjoyed the outstanding view of the desert, which stretched out as far as we could see.
Do you feel comfortable walking around these dogs? How are you doing? You're not gonna bite me? They seem friendly.
Easy.
Another Indian guy. All right, doggy. Bye, see you
The
again.
next morning, we woke up early and set off to Jacumba Springs, taking exit 73 of I-8. We knew we had arrived when we spotted a helicopter parked on top of a gas station, a quirky landmark that made us smile. After driving another mile or so on a gravel road, we reached a sign indicating the end of county-maintained road. We had to park right before the sign because going any further risked getting a ticket as it was a private property. The first few overpasses were quite nerve-wracking to walk on, but we quickly adjusted to those.
Just a little test of what we're gonna be doing today. A really small trestle. And there is a total of 17 of them, I believe. So, hopefully, we'll get far enough to see them all. Look what's out there. I believe these are the abandoned Chicago Metro cars. Less than a mile into this hike, and we came across this, which appears to be an old Chicago Metro cars that was running from 97 to 2012. And for some reason, these cars were just left abandoned here. These double-decker cars actually look pretty cool. Yeah. Let's get in. What do you think? Look, there's these double doors you can walk through. You don't have to climb in. Would be so nice to ride on it, I bet. Especially being on that second deck. Oh, the doors still work. Yeah, they all covered with graffiti, but I bet back in the days, it was a really nice train. Yeah, there's shelves for the luggage, kind of like on an airplane, just in that open. And for some reason, this whole deal is open. There must have been some sort of guardrails here at some point. Yeah, it's a part of a Chicago legacy that sitting here for some odd reason. This is the last car, and there's supposed to be something that looks maybe like a control room in here. It looks like some sort of a control room. Well, I know it's not an engine, but I'm wondering what's all this been used for. Looks like all kind of relay boxes and stuff. One of the longest hikes we ever done. Data ranges on this, but people are saying it's between somewhere 14 and 17 miles round trip. And most of these hikes goes along this long abandoned railroad. You have a long hike that will take you over to the world's tallest wooden trestle. And I'm not sure if this is right or not, but it's definitely one of the tallest bridges we've ever seen. People keep saying that this hike is very difficult. It is not difficult because it's technical or anything, because most of that hike you just walk on the rail tracks, and it's not too much of an elevation gain per mile, so it's pretty easy hike. However, it can get pretty hot in here. The temperatures are going up to 100 degrees in summertime, but today, it's not hot at all. In fact, it's about 60 degrees here, and it's the end of May. It's pretty cold here, and it's really windy. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's really windy in here. Back in the 1900s, when this railroad was built, it was called the Impossible Railroad. The reason being, it's very treacherous route, and to go through these mountains, they had to build a lot of trestles and a lot of tunnels just to get through this terrain. And it's a lot more difficult to build this road than it was to build a railroad from Los Angeles connected to the mainland. So that's why this route is so interesting and so crazy and cool to see in person. We were originally planning to take this hike on a bikes, but unfortunately there are sections of this hike that are basically non-traversable by bike, as it's very challenging and you have to, I guess, scramble through some of the rocks, because there are some tunnels on these hikes that are closed out and there is no way you can get through them, so you have to just walk around the mountains, and doing this with bikes is a lot more difficult than just hiking. There's actually about 17 trestles total and 12 tunnels, or vice versa, something like that. There is quite a lot of infrastructure that was built to just make this road possible. And this is very impressive, as this road is like 100 years old at this point, and the last train went through these tracks was probably about 30 years ago. Back in the days, this road cost $18 million to construct, and it took 12 years to build it, which actually, if you think about it, it's not that long, considering the materials and equipment they had back in the days. It was primarily all steam-driven equipment, and they had to pack the mountains with lots of explosives to build these tunnels. So it was a lot of effort, and a lot of men actually died during the construction of this. I have to do a disclaimer. This hike goes mainly through the private property, so technically it's illegal to go along the train tracks. There is another way, however, to get to the Goat Canyon Trestle. There's an 8-mile hike, but it goes through the steep cliffs. Very demanding hike, so we decided to take our chances and go at the easy way. Here it is, guys. We're about 1.5 miles into this hike, and this is the first tunnel. Alright, so this is tunnel number 1 on this hike. However, you see the number 5 on it. There's probably more tunnels that were earlier on this road that we just didn't see. But as you see, this one is gated, and you can't get through it, so we have to go all the way across this mountain to get on the other side. These tunnels on this road, they were built pretty high. It goes all the way there. It's done to accommodate for the older steam trains and to make sure that all this steam is not just coming back and into the passenger cars. They had to make this really tall like this. I'm not sure how many of these sections we're gonna encounter when we can't go through the tunnel, but there's probably gonna be at least a few of them. But so far we're staying optimistic, and I'm hoping we'll be able to complete this hike, I'd say by around 6 p.m. we should be back. Also watch out for these cactuses right here, as they really like to grab onto you. And here we are on the other side of tunnel number 5. SPF short until it's too late. Having the sun beaming on us all day. We got to our first trestle, and keep in mind, this is just the teasers before the trestles that are ahead, so you have to be really careful going through this. I would prefer to stay on these railroad ties just because they look a lot more stable, although there are quite big gaps between them sometimes. And today it's quite windy, so that doesn't help, because you have a little bit of a vertigo effect standing on this. So what you have to do is just keep looking straight all the time while you're at it. Keep going. We decided to walk across the ties, which indeed feels like a lot safer way. Hoping we're not gonna see this wind when we'll be crossing the Goat Canyon Trestle, as it will make it really uncomfortable. Alright, so this is the next tunnel we got, and apparently there has been a road that was going across that way, but I bet it's very sharp overturn for the train, so they decided instead to build a tunnel. And this one is open, which is really nice, so we don't have to go around the mountain. But this one is curved, as you can see. There's no way you can see the end of it, but I can see the light over here. So it's not really a long tunnel. Yeah, looks like this tunnel is not just curved. This tunnel is actually S-shaped. Wow, this is the first time I've seen a tunnel that's shaped like this. Most of the tunnels on this road are quite short, but there will be one that's almost 1 mile long. That's where we probably can benefit from having a flashlight, which we of course don't have with us. Derailments on this road were happening quite often, and there is one, the most famous, called the Coors Light derailment. That's where the whole rail car full of Coors Light beer fell somewhere into this canyon, and people were finding beer cans for many years after that. Look, we're coming across more artifacts here. There is more old infrastructure. Some old railroad cars. This looked to be a lot older than the ones that we've seen from Chicago Metro. This Coors Light beer is definitely not from a derailment back in the days. Yeah, these cars, they definitely look burnt on the outside. Let's get inside and see how they look there. Oh wow. There's almost nothing left. Looks like the installation is just burned, but it's not destroyed. I don't know if it's asbestos, maybe. I don't think it's quite healthy, so I wouldn't stay here for too long. Let's get moving. That was interesting. This post-apocalyptic trail cars. This looks like some sort of a mountain road, but definitely not the road for the train tracks. So I assume there's a tunnel over there somewhere, and this what the famous Coors Light derailment looks like. And there must have been a lot more cars that derailed. I think recovering these cars just didn't make a lot of sense, and they just decided to leave it there. Whoa, there's a tunnel over there. Reinforcement, like a steel reinforcement for the tunnels that they've been building. And that is a tunnel that was originally constructed, but it's collapsed. And that's why they decided to build an alternative route around this. And as you can see, unfortunately, this tunnel is gated off. This means we'll have to go all the way across this hike there. Okay, well, if this is what we have to do, we'll do it. Tunnel number 7 must have collapsed back in the days. And this one looks like it's been built with steel and reinforced concrete. Definitely looks a lot more modern than the other tunnels. So we're gonna continue on a hike across this mountain. That will be interesting. It really looked like a long hike. Looks like we got a company. You see, there's a couple over there that also following our steps. I thought I saw the end of it. That wasn't it. Here we go. We finally made it to the other side of this tunnel number 8. Oh yeah. Yeah, guys, you have to be careful. You see this? There are snakes on this trail. I don't know if that snake was poisonous, but I don't want to test it. Looks like we got 2 tunnels here, one right after another. So that second one must be pretty long. This tunnel number 10, and this one appears to have a curvature in it. I can see the end of it though, but it's pretty long. Whoa! That is so much light. I already see number 11 tunnel from here. It's right behind that turn. This tunnel started coming at us. This is really short though. As you can see, the end is right there. There's supposed to be one that is like a mile long. No, not that. Look at this car distance. Wherever this is supposed to be. Tunnel number 12. Again, this one looks short. Tunnel number 13. I'm telling you guys, they come at us every 5 minutes now. I think tunnel number 14 will be the last one. Look guys, we got to the tunnel number 14. I'm really hoping it is open and not gated off, because if it's closed, then we had to go all the way there. And who knows how far this trail goes before we get into it. And it looks like it is open. Yeah guys, we made it, tunnel number 14. Woohoo! This one actually looks to be a very long one. And it's straight too, it doesn't have a curvature in it unlike the others. But it's a very long tunnel. It is still not too dark. We exit in tunnel number 14. It finally ended. It was quite a long hike through this tunnel. This is tunnel number 15. This one was collapsed during a landslide. At some point, this whole hill slid down and it took the tunnel with it. On the other side, we'll be able to see it's like crooked. So they decided to make this tracks go around this hill on a more stable ground. And on the other side, that's why they had to build that large trestle. Hey, it looks like there's number 15 tunnel. That must be the last tunnel before we hit the Goat Canyon Trestle. I'm telling you, going through this bridge is something. You're looking down on the ground, which is long way down. So I think walking here is slightly easier, even though the gaps might be wider sometimes. And as we were walking through the last tunnels, there is quite a lot of people we met here. There's probably like 10 people on the other side of the trestle already. And on the top of that hill, you see that tank. This is a part of their fire suppression system. In case this trestle gets on fire, they will be able to dump all that water. This bridge was constructed from California redwood, and back in the days that was one of the strongest material that they can use. And some of them have been saying it was built with very little metal in it. You see there's actually a catwalk over there that must be pretty damn sketchy to walk through. Well, people are saying that's the tallest wooden trestle bridge in the world. I don't know how accurate is that statement, but it looks pretty tall. Alright, so we are entering tunnel number 16. Partially collapsed at the entrance here. I can still see the light. I'm not sure if it's the end of the tunnel light though, or maybe this tunnel is actually collapsed inside it. I bet this is why we're no longer seeing any trains going through these tracks. It's probably gonna take a while to clean up this mess. Look at all this mess. Yeah, if you climb through this pile of rocks, then technically about a couple miles away you can see all the Seven Sisters bridges. And they look quite impressive. but not nearly as impressive as the Goat Canyon Trestle. So I think we're not gonna make it all the way there. We just turn around and head our way back. So yeah, guys, if you want to see the rest of the trestles out there, you have to go through this tunnel, and you see it's quite a challenge to get through on the other side of it, but it's manageable. You can definitely do it. If you make it all the way to this point, you can definitely make it through this tunnel, and then another couple miles, and you will be able to see all the Seven Sisters bridges that look quite impressive. But I'm not sure they're quite as impressive to walk through as this one, because this one has a slight curvature on it. So when you're walking on it, you can kind of see it on the side, as opposed to the rest of the trestles that are kind of straight through. They not nearly as impressive. This trestle bridge definitely looks a lot more impressive when you see it in person. It is really tall, and rumor has it they've been building it without a single nail, so all that California redwood is joined together without a single nail. I'm not sure, I can't verify that, but what we can do is probably we can try to get down there, as there's a little catwalk on the lower level of this bridge, which we can probably get through to a certain point. I'm not sure how sketchy that will look, but I'll be willing to try. I wouldn't recommend doing any of this, as this stunt is performed by professionals. So this is what it looks like. Oh, this wood is not really stable. I'm not sure about it. But I think it goes all the way across. The catwalk does. I'm not sure if I will, as like I said, this seems pretty sketchy. But the wood is pretty solid actually at this point. It was a bit rotted out at the end, but now it seems solid. I don't know. I have a fear of heights. I'm not gonna walk anymore. I'll just get back the same way as I came in. So we decided to take a lunch break here in one of these tunnels. Fitness tracker showed that we got here and racked up about 10 miles. But that's with us exploring the trail cars and going into that number 16 tunnel and back. So I think on the way back, it will be somewhere close to like about 8, maybe 8.5 miles. So we should be able to cover that in about 3 hours. So it's about 1:30 right now. So we should be able to make it there around 4:35 at the latest. Tunnel number 10. So this one is tunnel number 9, and I can't remember which one we had to actually go around. Might be the next one after this one, or it might be the following one. I honestly can't remember, so we'll probably have to get inside and check it out. Well, most of these tunnels are not that long, and probably the one that is gated off is also not as long, so we'll be able to get inside, check it out. If it's locked, we'll just go around. But we had a problem. We actually thought that these two were gated off, and we were seriously considering an option to go around when it appears to be. These two weren't gated off, so that would have been a fatal mistake for us to go around. All right, so this is the other side of tunnel number 8, and apparently some people even have keys for these gates, because we just saw a few people who were behind us, and they actually went inside the tunnel. And then guess what? By the time we went back here, they were already through the tunnel. Hi guys. Hi there. There's actually a lot of people going through this trail, and right now it's 3 p.m. The sun is going down in about 4 hours, so there is no way they can make it all the way through and all the way back before the sun goes down. So I don't know, but they're not the only one. There's a bunch of people that are actually doing the same thing. And here, guys, this is why you have to be extremely careful on this hike. This is a rattlesnake. Do you hear that? Well, the GPS tracker tells us we are 17 miles into this hike. We are really close to the end. Probably about another mile left. Hey, looks like we're back to the first tunnel of this hike. The one that is gated off. You can see there is metro trains over there in that corner, and there's a highway that goes right there. So we have about a mile and a half to our car. This should be the easiest part of the trail, fortunately, because at this point my feet feel like crap and I really want to take my shoes off. These metro cars, they look really awesome at the sunset time. They're so colorful, and all this graffiti just make them look so outstanding in this desert landscape. Look at these cats over there. I like that middle one. Yeah, it was a nice hike. It took us whole day. It's almost 5 o'clock right now, and we left at 7:30. We were the first ones on this hike, and then a lot of people got up with us, and on our way back, we've seen people as late as 3 p.m., just halfway there. So, I don't know, they must be really optimistic about how easy this hike is. And the other thing is, the weather today was really nice for this hike, but in the morning, it was pretty cold and it was windy. So I bet it deterred a lot of people that were potentially planning to come. And that's why we only get maybe 15 people altogether we've seen on this hike, which is nice. It was pretty empty, but I would imagine this hike is probably a lot more popular than we originally anticipated, because it looks like there's a lot of people going through these tracks. Apparently, nobody is being bothered by this no trespassing signs. That's interesting. But hey, that's California, so must be that. So anyways, that was a nice hike. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.